Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfalla.
And Ray Alfalla is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started. Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. You can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit them.
Hello and welcome to Apex Racing TV and our coverage of the Radical Racing Challenge, Week 9 from Silverstone. My name is Sam Fitzpatrick, alongside me is Alessandro Dalladone, Mark Tranter operating the cameras, and we are here at the Jewel of British Motorsports, Alessandro. It's going to be a pretty mixed up race tonight. I think this track is a little bit unique to maybe some of the others that we've visited, a particularly tricky track in these Radical cars. And yeah, about half an hour of racing coming up.
Absolutely, it's gonna be a very interesting racetrack. The track is very slick. It's very difficult to make a pass since the dirt here is very strong, and the draft is not as powerful as we've seen in any other tracks this season. So we are set for another great race. But looking also at the qualifying session, since we started the broadcast a bit later than usual, unfortunately due to technical problems, Kane Halliburton is leading. He's back, Sam. So we might be set for another great race, because although he has a big gap on the other drivers and showed for the whole week, there might be some nice battles behind.
I think so. You can see that's the gap between the top two, 0.6 of a second. That is huge. I'm not sure if we've seen a gap more than 0.2 of a second so far this season on the Friday night. These are all the best drivers in this car who turn up for this meeting. Yeah, Halliburton has absolutely trounced them so far. Super impressive from him. His main rivals probably going to be Kike Ming, but Ming way down the order for this qualifying, and Aaron Bubba not around tonight. At the moment, Beauchamp in second place and Moore in third. So a little bit of a mixed up grid here at Silverstone. Like I said, it's a little bit of an unusual circuit. Certainly I felt driving around this circuit. It's so wide on the most parts is this track, particularly the newer section to the course. And as Alessandro was saying, a very slick circuit and tricky to follow as well with the high speed corners we have around this track. So despite the fact that it's another GP circuit, we've visited a fair few of them this season, maybe a slightly different proposition for the drivers tonight. Qualifying is over and we can go through your grid. There is Kane Halliburton on the pole position ahead of another good qualifying for Daniel Beauchamp. He's been good at qualifying all season long. Ivan Moore lines up in third position, and then it's Ruben Rodriguez who had a terrific result. Of course, at Road America won that time round, and that's one of his best qualifyings I've ever seen him produce. So good work up there in fourth. Then it was Okayama race winner John McHutchinson in fifth, ahead of second place at Okayama, Michael Reinhardt in sixth. There's Ant Castles and Arturas Kundelis, Tommy Vitsens, Luca Bolzone, Make Thurman, Kike Ming starts in a lonely 12th, Leon Robert in 13th, then it's John Aldridge, Julian Martinez Pastor, Alberto Garcia Blasco, then it's Eric Hanoi, Denis Kyriakopoulos, Philip Lake, and Alexei Tapio Vico, rounding out the 20 drivers we have for this race. 3 splits of cars, and we are broadcasting the top splits decently far away down to turn 1 round this circuit, actually, Alessandro. So I think if Beauchamp wants to win this race, or Moore wants to win this race, I think it's going to be that launch which is going to be their best chance.
Absolutely, and be careful because in the few races I had this week, turn 1 is a very tricky spot, and I've seen multiple crashes here, so don't be surprised if we see some people tangling in turn 1. The sweeping fast double corner is very, very dangerous on cold tires.
Definitely, yeah, watch for some swapping ends as 5 lights are on at Silverstone. And we are away. Awesome start for Halliburton. Storms away from the rest of the order. Not a great start for Beauchamp and Moore, but they will stay. Rodriguez trying to poke his nose up the inside, but he might be watching behind at Hutchinson now as they go alongside into the hairpin for the first time. There's contact in the background. That's going to be many drivers on the outskirts of the top 10 dropping down the order. And we've also got Moore as well from third on the grid, spinning round. I assume that was a tap just behind maybe from Hutchinson. These cars are very brittle to contact as a magnificent save from Hutchinson. Complete opposite lock. He does drop down to 5th place, and it's a great start for Rodriguez and Reinhardt to gain a couple of places. Still, the drivers sliding about, and some huge gaps being formed in the top 10, as still they're really struggling, Alessandro, on the cold tyres.
Yes, indeed, we had a lot of drivers going out of the racetrack in the opening corners, but mostly I think Sam Kikamin was involved in that incident in the opening corner. You see later on the replay, so I think for the broadcaster championship, that's pretty much the championship over, right?
I think so. It was 54 points going into this round. 52 points are available in the final 2 meetings of the season, and so as long as Halliburton just maintains that gap, he should be the champion, so looking very good for him on that front. Eric Lenoy managing to gain 4 places. Philip Blake up 7 places. Blake 4th seed in this race, so you wouldn't expect him to move up through the order. It's Bozzone at the front of a long train at the moment in 7th position, and there he is. So these guys are already 8 seconds off the lead with the troubles we've already seen, but behind it, it's anyone's game. That was Thurman driving in deep, just getting past Dennis. Now got a couple of off tracks as well as into the pits goes Condelis. Too much damage for him, and that will probably be the end of his evening.
Yes, many drivers going very wide. They need to be very, very careful because remember that if you have a slot in the opening lap of the race, it's gonna take forever to get it done, and you lose a lot of track positions. Since everyone is very, very close in the midfield, you only have a big gap from Hutchinson in 5th to Leon Robert in 6th place, 3.5 seconds. So he won't have the draft, but he's still trying to pull away from the Argentinian driver at 37. So very, very interesting battle scene with Tommy Wittens and Eric Hanoi fighting with
Yeah, Wittens with a poor start, down 4 positions. Trying to recover at least one of them here. Really tricky to stay close around this part of the circuit through Brooklands and Lovefields because of the turbine air coming off the car ahead. Wittens might be falling victim here to Moore on the comeback trail after qualifying in 3rd place. Nishi, the loop, the first lap. They're trying to recover, but this would be a storming move if you can get around the outside. You can go off the circuit here and just pick up a 1x, but you don't want to go too far. Otherwise, you can pick a slow down. That will be a 1x and a little bit of context as well. They're giving absolutely nothing to one another. One has surely got to give into Maggots and Beckett's, and somehow Moore manages to get ahead just about enough space, and he can set his sights on Eric Benoit now ahead as he cuts to Vico, who's up 12 places. He started in last position, did Vico. He is now trying to get past approaches. He's just losing out to Thurman, who is back up into 8th.
Yes, starting for the Spanish driver was very, very good, as we see the replay with Bozzone hitting Kundelis and then starting a even bigger collision. You can see Kikamin trying to go around the outside, but finds the car of Kundelis stopped on the outside of the corner, and unfortunately for Kikamin is a day over. Also Altcastle involved in the pure motorsport car. Castle's in the pit, so he also will have a day to forget. So a lot of drivers losing out at the start, but especially for drivers coming to the field from the back, a very, very positive start going through the tarmac in the opening laps.
yeah, those that all kind of occurred between about 7th and 12th positions. So anyone behind that just quits in right there. This is close for 2nd place. Rodriguez trying to get past Rodriguez with only one podium, I believe, on a Friday night broadcasted race. I mean, I might be getting that one wrong. We've broadcasted about 20 of these races now on Apex Racing TV. And of course, Rodriguez taking that terrific win at Road America when the couple of leaders crashed into one another on the last lap. So he's looking at not just the 3rd step of the podium, but a 2nd step of the podium result here. Just does lose a little bit of time though. The Becketts now, this is where Radical can really stretch its legs. Turbulent Air versus Slipstream should be fairly even round this circuit. Maybe the Turbulent Air a little bit stronger. Here comes Rodriguez then for Fordzilla. Round the outside, in fact he's just going to bounce. Keep a part of his car alongside, gets the inside for Vale. And he is passed. Excellent move on car number 5. And he will try to now use the Turbulent Air in order to break the draft.
Absolutely, it looks very, very easy usually in the Radical once you are in the slipstream. But I can testify that here at Silverstone is very, very difficult. You have a nice side-by-side to the last corner between Lake and Robert for the last spot in the top 10. It's very difficult to make a pass because especially through that section you have so much dirty air and you need to be within 3/10 to be able to make a pass. Otherwise there's no chance you can send it on the outside or inside wherever you get the space to make a pass. It's much more difficult than any other track you've been to so far this season, and I expect people to go for it as soon as they can, because also tires at the end of the race start to fall off very, very dramatically. So if you can lead the group or stay in front of someone, you always have to go for it at Silverstone.
Oh, there goes Vitsons. Yeah, I mean, I was really struggling at the end of my race. I mean, I was driving fairly poorly, hadn't done much practice. But yeah, I was making a bunch of errors in the end, and yeah, I can't put that down to my poor driving skill. It probably was, but I'm sure the tyres on the Giants tyres, if they do improve as the fuel goes down, or yeah, maybe that's a tyre where it's just too significant. Vitsons just trying a tricky section here, because if you drive it in too deep for one of the corners, you're a real compromise for the rest, as we just see more going slightly wide further up ahead. More will be safe from Hanori's grasp, however. Of course, we've got Aldridge just behind these drivers, and also Kyrikopoulos rounding out the top 16. In fact, they are starting to queue up just ahead here, so this is Pastor falling into the clutches of Robert. Pastor holding on at the moment. He lost half a second on that last lap to Robert. Did Pastor, I think he's lost a couple more tenths again on this time, but look at Lake now also trying to make.
Yes, absolutely. These drivers are not helping each other because they're all losing grasp of Tapia Vico in 8th place. Once you are out of that 1.8 of a second, you don't have any more slipstream, so it gets very, very difficult to catch it back to the guy in front, as we have still some side-by-side racing between Lake and Ivan Moore, where they had a big moment in the opening lap, losing a lot of places now, coming through the field with an unscraped car, which is very, very important. He will definitely have the speed to come through the field, but it's very, very difficult. You can see here to make a pass, tries to get the inside, but unfortunately for him, actually it was the other way around, I'm sorry. It's Lake in 12th position and Moore in 11th place. He made the pass and now we'll be looking to get Robert in 10th.
So that's one more down for Moore. Lake, a driver who I'm not too familiar with, but he is the seed number 4, one of the highest I-rated drivers out on circuit. So he maybe would have been expecting a bit more, but of course if you're not a regular in the Radical, it's very tricky, and because this is a fixed setup series, the setup does change for each week, but still it's fairly common to get up to speed in any car. It's tricky, so Lake, I think, just learning that at the moment. He is staying, well, he's not actually staying ahead anymore of Vittens, because Vittens has burst down the inside. He's that wide entry to his advantage, making a beeline to the apex, and here he is again, going all out here, and there's contact between the two of them, and Hanoi manages to get through, but Aldridge was unable to get through, and that will be the end of leg stay because that was a hard hit.
That was a really harsh hit, a very unfortunate end for Lake. One of the highest rated driver in the field as far as it is iRacing concerned, as Martinez Pastor defense is 9th position. Let's catch the replay with Tommy Wittens trying to come through the field. That's the inside, and Lake just tries to commit for to the same spot as the Belgian driver, and they collide. Unfortunately for Lake, race is over. Wittens lost some more time, so it's really a tough evening for Tommy Wittens. Very fast driver, not really used to see him at the back some.
Yeah, he's really regularly up in the top 10 this Friday night split, so yeah, shame for him. But he's still going after that contact. A little bit of damage, I'm sure. I think he might be able to get back past Kyrkopoulos and maybe Hanoi as well, though. Hanoi will be tricky across the seat number 7. As Moore struggling to make a whole lot of progress at the moment. I wonder if we could get a replay of Moore's first lap when he got hit off at the loop. I'm not 100% sure who hit him, or whether in fact he was hit. I believe he was. But since then he's made a few overtakes, and to be fair, he's probably made more progress since lap 1 than anyone else, but still just taking a while for him to get past drivers who is probably much faster than at least at qualifying was anything to judge by. So here it was then, he was comfortably in 3rd position, was Moore, but actually no, he did lose it by himself, so I thought he got hit by from behind by Hutchinson or by Rodriguez, but actually he lost it all by himself, and he lost it again, just showing the difficulty of the portals.
Absolutely, opening up, you need to be very careful. I've seen many good drivers losing control of the car, especially coming out of this particular corner on the opening lap. You need to find a good balance. You have to risk it because obviously you can gain a lot of position if you are very good on cold tires, but at the same time you need to balance it out. If you make a small mistakes, it's gonna cost you a lot of time. Also, Jon Aldridge, it's back on to pit road in 15th place, so also for Jon, unfortunately, not a race to remember.
A lot of the high attrition rate, eh? 6 out of 20 drivers out of the race as, wow, that's a move. We're going to see 2 wide contacts a little bit, but I think storming through is more. It's taking a while to get past one of them. He's going to get past 2 of them here, but he cannot quite. Wow, that was incredible there with Pastor there. Praising to the Lords, it seemed. And he managed to get up into 8th position. That is quite monumental. He just had a slightly shorter line, and how those drivers managed to avoid contact, I do not know. Will they avoid contact this time? Moore's going to go for it again, and they're going 3 wide again. But they're all out of shape, and storming back through the middle might be able to reclaim a couple of the positions that he lost for Burt here. He's now on the outside. It's Moore who's a bit boxed in on the inside. And it's all repeating itself again. This has been going on for the best part of a lap already. Finally, Pastor is able to make a little bit of a gap. Moore storms through it as well and picks up the draft. He'll be going for the move into turn 1 potentially. Behind this, it's BK just hoping that these guys finally make contact, and they may make contact here because he does not know when to give up, does Babert. He seems to be a little bit slower than these drivers. He's absolutely fighting for everything, and he might be able to get back up into 8th position in just a moment. He's certainly passed Moore again. Moore with the better exit, contact again, probably the 3rd time between those 2, and finally Vico is able to get involved.
Absolutely, everyone fighting really hard for position at lap 8 of 15, and here is the inevitable contact between the drivers, racing so hard for a lot of time. It's not going to end up very well, and indeed is Vico and Robert losing out the most. I was about to say, Hanoi, Kyriakopoulos and Wittens definitely enjoying these battles from the back, coming closer and closer. And here, unfortunately, is the small mistake of the 13th car of Leon Robert, losing the car under braking ever so slightly, washes up wide and connects even more. And Tapio Vico, I think, sorry. And we have another replay here of the 3 wide. Great racing, banging wheels. How they did not crash here, I do not know, Sam, but unfortunately they did alpha update.
Yeah, yeah, that was that's so close, wasn't it? I think that will be going on social media. It's excellent to watch. So back with the front guys, Béchamp is not giving up on this one. He's being able to stay close, and I mean, if this was really like most of the races we've seen this season, visited a lot of slipstream circuits this season, we would have seen these guys probably change every single lap. Instead, it has just been Rodriguez, whilst not being able to pull away and certainly not being comfortable, it's just being able to keep that gap. It's really nice to visit this Silverstone circuit where that draft versus the turbulent air is so even. I was just thinking a moment ago, Alessandro, I mean, I was trying it a little bit, I think it wasn't necessarily working, but when you're following in Beauchamp's shoes here, when you're within half a second of the car ahead, do you try to take maybe some alternative lines, maybe go wide at Lovemeals instead of taking your normal racing line, or do you think it's best just to, stick with what you know?
I think the only way you can really try to get something out is to back up a bit your entry, enter slowly and try to get as much exit speed as possible, because you can see how difficult it is for Beauchamp to follow through this section. Only if Rodriguez makes a mistake he will be able to attempt a pass, because you can see almost 5/10 part of the backstretch and he's still about 3/10. So if you are only within 3/10 and a half, you have a slight chance to make a pass, otherwise there's no way to get something happen here at Silverstone. It's a different track, a different combination of the draft package and the aerodynamics here, Sam, because usually when you are that close, it's an easy way to get past on the straight. But unfortunately for some drivers today, it's not.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it is very good to watch as we're back with this pack, which is ripped up once again. Robert's coming back from on. That's quite quick. I'm struggling to judge his pace because it seemed like he was dropping back earlier on, but he's being able to catch up to this pack again. That was Pastor and Moore nearly making contact into one. And they move into the hairpin. By the way, this is broadcast sponsored by SDK Gaming. We provide our fantastic overlay, which you can see up on screen. It gives you so much information. It's terrific for broadcasting, streaming, and as a heads-up display, check out sdk-gaming.co.uk in order to get yourself a subscription. I think they might even have a 14-day free trial. There's a link as well in the description below. Here is more. Is he going to be able to pull up this one? Wow. He's got the better line, I think. But Pastor might have a better exit. No, it's just run too wide, and that will really compromise his speed down the straight. Has to dip back into the draft. He'll be able to put the Iberian driver offline at least. Trying to get the cutback all the way around the outside. And it's like a few laps ago, of course, when it was 3 wide. It's just 2 wide this time. And last time, it was Pastor who managed to win out. Pastor wins out this time as well. Outside line into Maggots seems to be the way to go. Pastor having an absolutely epic battle so far, keeping him clean, but this is inviting Wittens back onto them, apologies, Hanoi onto the back of them. He was trying to stay in their draft in order to defend the 3 cars directly behind him, again alongside. With not quite getting as much purchase this time round. And Wittens has got ahead of Hanoi then, up into 10th position. Can start making some moves on the drivers ahead. Did have a spin, I think, earlier on. Did Wittens, so he's come back particularly strongly. And Hanoi might be under threat from Robert next, who's just got past Kyriakopoulos on that lap.
Yes, indeed. This is very, very entertaining to watch all these drivers swapping position from 8th to 13th place. Behind them is Vico, the 10 car, also 2.8 seconds behind. He might join the party if these drivers keep fighting so hard until the end. 5 more laps. So I think in the next 5 laps, we will see a complete reshuffling of this part of the standings, as everyone is trying to find some space to fend an attack and improve their position, but unfortunately, wherever they go, they always find the door shut because everyone is trying to pass, but at the same time to defend. So it's very, very hectic.
This is incredible, isn't it? I mean, how wide the circuit is really does help as well. You can go for a lunge even when you think that the driver's too far back. Just starting to pull away now is more. I mean, more Pastor, I believe. Well, more Pastor and Vittens, I think, should be able to pull away. I think probably Hanoi and Kyrikopoulos are the slowest of these guys. As actually, now they are at the back because Robert got past Hanoi. Now he's trying to get past Vittens as well, who actually manages to return the car around. I thought he was getting a bit of a slide, but actually absolutely gripped up the front end, closed in quite significantly on the car ahead. Well, of course, Pastor has the draft from Moore. Vincent's just invading. He's going to just float out a little bit wide as well. Goes more ahead. He's feeling the need to cover off, so any breakaway that he was making has certainly come to an end. And yeah, you're not attacking, you are defending as Vittens, I think, with a little bit of a tap there.
Yeah, also tires now giving a bit up to the driver, so we will see them slide a bit more as we have an attempt for a pass here in second place with Beauchamp getting the inside. Rodriguez shuts the door and keeps his team for Phil Radical in front, but that was a very, very close call. Rodriguez seems to be struggling a bit with the tires, with the rear moving around quite a lot in this last part of the race. You see Beauchamp might be a bit faster. It takes a lot to be so close. So I think if Beauchamp gets the pass done, it might be able to at least maintain second place. But one thing is to catch back to a driver. A completely different one is to make the pass, because you can see how difficult it is to follow through this section.
Yeah, back up to that 0.4 of a second again. And Beauchamp, not usually the most aggressive driver. I think he's improved on his race car as the season's gone on. And I have been impressed by his race pace, because often he qualifies high up, but then just drops back as the race goes on. But he's been right up there in the top 3 throughout, keeping behind some competitive drivers, even McCutcheon. One back at Okayama struggling to catch up to these drivers as the race has gone on. Got 3 more laps to go. There's the race leader, 6.5 seconds ahead. Easiest win he will have since probably Interlagos last season, where I think he won by about 10 seconds. But this one has been probably even more dominant than that occasion, because there's been no one who's got anywhere close to him in qualifying or the race. Looks like it's going to be a win to seal up the championship as well, with a couple of meetings to spare in the Friday night championship. These guys we haven't watched too much. Bozzone versus Lowe, and Bozzone kicked off quite a bit of contacts on the first lap. Won't be making any friends, but he might be making a 6th place after this.
Yeah, quite surprised to see his car still working fine after that incident, knowing how fragile the Radical is here in iRacing. But nice to see these guys that barely made the top split in the broadcast race tonight, getting some big points. And also, let me give a quick shout out to one of our broadcast sponsors, Virtual Racing School, where you can also find, if you are interested, the Radical Challenge data pack made by Pablo Lopez, winner of the last official season. 50 plus data packs, road, all iRacing, dirt, whatever you might need for your iRacing career, you will find everything there, with setups, track guides, data analysis software, one-on-one coaching. And I repeat, if you want to get started, check it out, because for the Radical, although it's fixed, you find one of the best drivers in the business, showing you what lines to take and everything. So it's a very, very nice tool to improve and to get better in your driving skills.
I think Vico's had a little bit of an offer a moment ago. Just down to 14. He was previously just ahead of Hanoi and Kirikopoulos, so not great news for Vico there. But can Moore hang on against Pastor here? Still Vittens close, not that close. These four really evenly matched, all had their different issues. A couple of them have crashed into one another, causing them issues. This might be a frustrating day. Vittens almost getting up the inside of Pastor. This is really allowing Moore to escape from these drivers. I think it's going to be a frustrating race here for Robert. He may have felt like 2 more laps and he could have got past all of these three. He's just come up a little bit short, and he'll do well to get a top 10 out of this. Still trying to find a way is Vittens. Gets right underneath the rear wing of Pastor. Took a bunch of understeer. Now into Cops. Be his best chance. Yeah, he's going to force him offline at least.
Very, very close. We can try to take the inside. Pastor goes very, very wide. We'll have to defend. 3 wide is not going to end up well. Not even side by side. It's going to work around here. Someone has to give up the position. And Robert puts his car in front of Vittens for 10th place. Robert has now 1 more lap to get by Julien Pastor for 9th, as we have a switch for position in the last corner, almost, between Beauchamp and Reinhard. Beauchamp got very, very slowly out of the chicane and gave Rodriguez now the chance to open the gap and I think secure his 2nd position. Let's catch the replay of that. Let's see what happened here between Beauchamp and Rodriguez. If the English driver tried to make a move around the inside. Oh, he lost it, and mega save by Beauchamp. Well done there, but unfortunately for him, this cost him the chance to get 2nd place.
And of course, once you have a slide like that, the next few corners are absolutely tricky as anything, because you've overheated the tyres. You really have to take that into consideration. Beauchamp did excellently, as you say, Alessandro, to hold on initially and then, yeah, hold on against Reinhardt as well. Lead there is Halliburton. 7.6 seconds clear now. This is how you take Baggett's and Beckett's. He's been pretty much the fastest driver on circuit every single lap of the race. Oh, but that's a bit of a mistake, isn't it? Oh, camera pressure for him there. He has not made a mistake like that all night long. But he shakes the wheel. Maybe still mainly about 10% of his gap evaporating with that mistake. As he rounds Stowe, and it will just be Rail and Club to round out this race, and round out his championship win as well. He entered this race 54 points clear in the championship. He just needed to beat Kike Meng. He has done that and more. It's another race win for Kane Halliburton and the Friday night championship as well. Congratulations to the Jamaican. Rodriguez with a terrific 2nd place. Beauchamp with 3rd. What is going on with the Robert Pastor battle? Moore has been able to get away from these drivers, but will Pastor be able to hang on alongside at the moment? Here comes Vittens with his last attempt. He's going to have to just sit in behind these drivers. I think Robert is going to be able to get to that place. Or is he? Here comes Pastor round the outside. He surely will get it to the line. They're all over the place. They're crashing across the line. But it was Pastor who managed to get 9th position by 3/100ths of a second. He was leaving absolutely nothing at the line, losing control in a Road Atlanta style final corner, and he did beat Robert Vittens in the end, coming home last of that 4-way battle. And here are the results then. It was Halliburton who won out 5.8 seconds clear of Ruben Rodriguez, and Ray Shop managing to beat Reinhardt in 3rd and 4th. John McCutchinson finishes in 5th, and it was Luca Bozzone managing to beat that, win that tight battle with Nick Thurman in the end. Ivan Moore was in 8th, and it was Leon Robert, Tommy Wittens, Eric Hanoi, Dennis Kyriakopoulos, Alexei Vico, Julian Pastor, and then the retirees were. So Pastor then with a post-race penalty then, because he picks up a 1x right at the end there, or maybe earlier on in the lap, and he gets a 50-second penalty for all of that. So
I think it might be a slowdown. We're going too wide.
Yes. Yeah, good shout. Yeah, so big penalty. Then the retirees were Awajij, Lake, Kundalis, Castles, Ming, and Blasco. Rounding out the order. That was fantastic fun, Alessandro. I realised it wasn't a tight battle for the lead like we've come accustomed to in this series, but that battle for 10th position, I think one of the best I've seen this season.
Absolutely, that was an epic finish. Unfortunate for Pastor to get demoted all the way back into last place at the tail end of the lead lap finisher in 14th place. But apart from that, we really had an amazing battle, great racing in the midfield. Unfortunately, up front, the pace is so similar between all the drivers, apart from Kane, who is absolutely on another level. And we knew it already before entering this broadcast race that Kane, if he had the job done in qualifying, essentially had no one able to maintain his pace, as we look at a very beautiful replay of Ivan Moore spinning turn 3.
Yeah, you can see the chaos that was happening in the background on that 8th lap, where really did set the what was very influential for the race in the end. By the way, we will just go through interviews in a second, but a final shout out to our last sponsor for this broadcast, Apex Racing Academy, who offer 29 data packs. Those data packs including setups, track guides, weekly group coaching sessions, and it's also integrated with virtual racing school as well. The great thing about Apex Racing Academy is its usability. Whenever you load up into a session, all the setups and all the replay files are downloaded right into your file directory, so it is super easy. You don't even have to think about setting up or loading up the setups. You just have to get into the session. They're there already made for you, and you are away racing. It does save you a lot of time, and it is fantastic for the ease of use. So do check out Apex Racing Academy, apexracingac.com for more details. There is a link in the description below. So it was a terrific result tonight for Daniel Beauchamp. You managed to get a podium result. Congratulations, Daniel. I'm going to really embarrass myself here and ask you, is that your first podium on a Friday night?
No, I did get one. I got second at Road America, but that was only because Manu and Aaron crashed out at the end, as you'll probably remember.
Of course, yeah, finishing just behind Ruben on that occasion, just behind him tonight as well. It was a terrific battle between you two. I mean, honestly, who do you think was faster? Because we couldn't call it up in the commentary box.
I couldn't call it either. Yeah, it was so close, so hard to tell, and it's hard to tell the impact of the slipstream. I mean, it certainly doesn't have the impact that it's had on other tracks that you would expect to be drafty. So that was nice. But yeah, it was hard to tell who was faster, and I think in the end, Ruben won because he made a really good overtake early on, and then he was just able to keep it consistent. Because if you don't come out, 0.3 of a second behind onto one of the straights where you can overtake, you really don't have a chance.
Alessandro was saying earlier on how the tyre wear can be a little bit of a tricky thing around this circuit. I mean, were you feeling it at all near the end, and was that a little bit of a contributor to your slide on the third to last lap?
Well, I think the main contributor to my slide was trying to lunge my car into the corner way too late, and I mean I had to go for the dive bomb because it was my only chance. But and luckily I didn't take out Ruben or anyone, and I was able to keep third. But yeah, I mean the tire wear is a significant issue on the last 2 laps, and it certainly did contribute to that incident. Yeah, but you do, especially on the last lap, and if you've done some. Had any stuff you've had to do in the race which uses up the tires, gets them a bit hot, then on the last lap they're really a pain, and I think that was the reason why I was able to stay in front of Michael. He, I think, was struggling through the tires with the tires through Maggots and Beckett's.
Next up, we've got the best circuit in the world. It's Suzuka. What's your thoughts on that?
I love Suzuka. It's one of my favorite tracks, been there in real life, and I love it. Although I might not be here next week, unfortunately. I'll see, but probably won't do it, unfortunately.
Oh, shame. Well, okay, after that, we've got the Nordschleife. How did the Nordschleife round go for you last season? Or did you... I'm trying to recall how many of the broadcasted races you did last season, actually.
I didn't do any of the broadcast races last season, but generally I do consider myself quite good at the Nordschleife. I think my pace last season was good enough for like 10th in the because the qualifying is a static thing. You don't have to do it every time for each race, and I was able to get I think the 10th time or something. So yeah, I feel pretty confident about that track.
Awesome. Well, best of luck for it, Daniel. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, Ruben, man, amazing race. That was so much fun. Thank you for being really fair, but also being really aggressive and making it interesting.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat with us, Daniel. And yeah, we hope to see you back at least one more time by the end of the season.
All right, guys.
Daniel Beauchamp there, your 3rd place finisher, like you said, his 2nd podium of the season. Yeah, so I had forgotten, Sanjay, that it was Suzuka for the penultimate round of the championship. Like I said, it's the best circuit in the world, in my opinion. It's a little bit of an odd one, and I think it shows the weirdness of the Silverstone circuit, because I think in Formula 1, Silverstone's a much easier circuit to follow and overtake rounds, and yet I feel like in this radical car, Suzuka might be a bit more what we're used to. You know, the slipstreaming past, where it's better to be behind than it is to be in front, where the draft is more effective than the turbulent air. I mean, what do you think on that? Do you think we're going to kind of see a return to constant overtaking, or do you think it'll be more like today, where overtaking is quite tricky?
I think it's gonna be in between some, because it's not as twisty as Silverstone, but at the same time it's not as other tracks we've been to this season. I think if you can follow the car in front quite close in the opening sector, which is in my opinion the part of the track where you will find drivers to struggle with dirty air the most, I think then the slipstream will be stronger than dirty air, because yes, you have Spoon, which probably is gonna affect the driver behind quite a lot, but the straight is quite long, so I think we might see some side-by-side before 130R if the drivers are close. I think it's gonna be definitely very interesting. Might not be like Road America or other tracks we've been to, but in between. So far these racetracks like Silverstone, like Okayama, have provided some amazing racing, although less entertaining maybe because it's more difficult to pass. But also the drivers, I think, are enjoying this kind of racetrack even more, because let's say that the driver skill might be a bit more important rather than also good racecraft, which is definitely a very nice trait to have, but with this car lately, unfortunately for some drivers, the draft was really a big factor, and we haven't seen big gaps. But nevertheless, another great track to visit before the grand finale at the Industriefahrten at the Nürburgring Nordschleife.
Yeah, it's been a terrific season. I mean, I think we've maybe criticised the track selection a little bit this season. You know, we like to have these more balanced circuits rather than just the slipstreamy circuits every race, especially as, you know, guys who drive in this series as well during the official series. But certainly these last 3 rounds of the championship, I think, are excellent selections, and I think Suzuka will be one to watch. And of course, you can watch it on Apex Racing TV because we'll be broadcasting it same time, same place next week. You can also watch it on Twitch as well. We've got the Apex Racing TV Twitch channel over on that platform. So if that's how you prefer to watch your broadcast, then head over there, go follow us, and you can catch pretty much all of our broadcasts there. I think maybe 1 or 2 ones on Twitch, but pretty much all of them are, and I think there's a little bit better latency as well. There's a few advantages to that, so do check it out. Also check out our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well, where we post little highlights of each of our events, along with little previews as well of series which are coming up and races which are happening later on in the evening. Massive thanks to Apex Racing Academy, Virtual Racing School, and SDK Gaming for helping us out with this broadcast. Of course, especially SDK Gaming for helping us out on our overlay, but check out all of them using the links in the description below. And of course, if you've liked this video, leave a like on it and go subscribe to Apex Racing TV. But for now, from myself, Sam Fitzpatrick, from Alessandro Dalladone, and from Mark Trenta, it is the championship win for Kane Halliburton in this round 10 of the championship. Congratulations to him, and we'll see you back at Suzuka for round 11 next week. See you then.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. there needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. You can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfalla.
And Ray Alfalla is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you do laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.